today we will look at a way to refute pretty much each gambit separately. So we will follow a certain principle on how to beat gambits without having to know theory. I will also show you how to play correctly from these positions and like the more optimal approach. Both to give you an idea, and also if you are more curious and actually want to know, a few lines, a few moves, you have it in your arsenal. And also there are maybe like a few gambits which you have to be just a little bit sharp. Just a little bit. But I will show you what I mean. So first things first, let's look at what I mean. Let's look at the Stafford gambit. Black here sacrifices a pawn, and the point is they go bishop out, and they are going to create a lot of attack over here. They might push this pawn to enable this to happen, to hopefully open the rook. They might go here immediately, trying to go here. They might even go here, and they have all sorts of intentions to try and make our life difficult. And now, of course, with perfect play, you are fine. And of course, if you know the theory, you are fine. But the whole point of what I'm showing you is you need to know theory, right? If your opponent really knows what they're doing, they can get a lot of very nasty positions, very potent positions. And that goes for a lot of gambits. So I will be showing you how to battle the gambits without having to study for each and every single one of them. So let's start with the Stafford gambit. The whole approach you want is you take here a pawn. So you are up a pawn for the rest of the game. And then you play d4. And basically what d4 does is it gives up the pawn completely. So now you're in an equal position. But what does your opponent want? They want to be aggressive. They want to be on the front foot. They want to sacrifice their material. They want you, to be on the defensive and everything. And so we give them back material. We develop our position. Notice, Queen e2 here, a very nice move. That's one of the few moves I want you to memorize. Because in this position, look, the knight doesn't have these two squares. You can go here, but it's probably very annoying. Or you can go here. Best option is this. Now knight out, followed by, in the future, bishop e3, rook d1, or queenside castles. You can go here to enable your bishop to move, to also get some tempo on the knight in the future. Get your queen in the center. This is also a very natural square for the queen, mind you, because we don't have a knight here anymore. And you have just a beautiful position. And now the gambit player that's supposed to be aggressive, that's supposed to be, sacrificing his material, has to play normal chess and has to be on the back foot. Okay, well, if they don't take here, let's look at this. Here, again, you should remember queen e2. And here your opponent has to be very, very careful. First of all, they cannot just move the knight, because you will capture with check and win a queen. Okay, so the obvious move would be this, but the problem with this move is now you capture and you pin the knight. So you're actually up a knight. You're completely winning in this position. And I should hopefully not have to tell you how to play the rest of the game. You're just completely crushing. The only thing here that they can really do is play something like this. You can play g3, and what g3 does is it kicks out the queen. Again, if they play something reckless, you capture the knight, but the point of h4 is they will go here, and after takes, now they pin your knight, and okay, you develop takes, and you can either do that or you can go here. Mind you, they cannot just defend the pawn, because you are winning a rook. So, if they go here, now you win back the pawn and you have actually a winning position. This is one of the top engine lines where you are just up a pawn. But you don't really need to memorize it because, you know, most people here aren't gonna go here or here. 90% of the people in pretty much every game I've played play this move, and you win back a knight and you're very happy. You know, if they try to defend the knight or something, you can simply capture, and then you can even potentially go here, but you do have to be a little bit careful of these ideas. So later maybe, but okay, either way you're completely just better in this position. And okay, finally the move to look at is queen a7, and again here, knight out takes, queen takes, you give them back material, you are in equal position. You can either play bishop d3 to defend the pawn, or you can be more aggressive with the move f4, just getting the center. And actually after something like this, you don't even need to push, you can go here to prevent the bishop from moving, and this is a very nice move. If they play something stupid, you can just move the queen and you have an amazing position. If they play something a little bit more, you know, normal, okay, bishop out, probably, maybe here, castles, bishop out, rook out, and you have a completely amazing position. Next up, we are looking at the glorious, the mighty, the Queen's Gambit. Super popular. Here, you know, you probably know like 1,000 ways of dealing with this already. But I want to show you, even in this, you can just take. It's actually one of the better moves. You can simply take. And the whole point is that you're gonna leave this pawn to die. So, listen. The Queen's Gambit is potent if you try to hold on to this pawn, then you are kinda doomed. But, knight f3, or knight f6, excuse me. If they play something like this, you go knight up. If they take, you develop the bishop, so I have actually more pieces developed than them. Yeah, they have the center, but you're gonna play something like e6, bishop out, castles, knight up, or c5, trying to just fight for the center, and you're happy. Very happy, actually. And okay, you know, for an example, another thing is if they play something like e3, you can play e5. You can also just play knight f6, regardless of what they do. But e5 is very nice. The whole point is it isolates the pawn. If they do something like this, now you can simply do something like this and have a really nice position. After something like takes, you can take immediately, and then, you know, you can give a check, you can castle with check, and you also threaten the bishop. It's an amazing position. Yeah, it's just an amazing position. And again, this pawn, you never defend it, not once. That's the whole point. And then finally, let's say knight f3, or, you know, knight c3. It really doesn't matter, you just go knight f6, you guessed it, and then you can even play c5. e5 isn't really possible here, but yeah, c5. And again, you reach this very nice position where you are completely fine. And really, yeah, it's just a normal game. You're gonna... The good thing is here, you will definitely see this position more than your opponent sees it. That's the good thing about this approach. You're gonna always be the more sort of experienced player because, you know, Queen's Gambit players, they're very used to the Queen's Gambit declined. And, you know, the semi-Slav and this and that, the other, very used to it. So if you can just kind of get them out of their comfort zone and turn it into a more tactical game than a positional game, you should actually be the one on the front foot again. And that's the whole point of this little video.